Alright, so converting fractions to decimals, all you have to do is read it. It's 3 divided by 5. If you want to convert a fraction into anything else, you just divide it. So if we have an improper, you want to change it to a mix, you divide it. If you want to change it to a decimal, you divide it. Fractions are another form of division. So it's 3 divided by 5. So we put our decimal right here and we write it just as if we had money. So it's $3. 5 into 30, that's 0. Sorry, 5 into 3 is 0. 5 into 30 would be 6. That's a 0. That gives us 0. And once you get that 0, this is our ending point. Now we have two different types of decimals that we get when we have a fraction. Fractions are rational numbers. So the two decimals that we get for rationals are ending decimals or repeating decimals. And then that's what we're looking for. Either a repetition or an end. Alright. So over here we have something a little different. This is a 2. So it's a whole part, which means it goes in front of the decimal. It is not a decimal, it is a whole part right there. Whole number. So it goes right here. And then the last part is the 2 divided by 3. We put the decimal, write it like money. That's 0. 3 into 20 is 6. That'll give us 18. 20. 3 into 20 is 6. That'll give us 18. And if you notice, we're getting a repetition inside of our division. That's how we can tell that this is a repetition. So we're going to always get a 6. And then that is our answer. 2.6 with the little bar above to indicate a repeating 6. Alright, there's 2 down there for you. A 7/8 and then 35 and 2/11. So you have a proper fraction and a mixed number. Hit pause and give them a shot. Alright, and those are the two answers you should have gotten. For 7/8 you should get 0.875. And then for 35 and 2/11 you should get 35 with a repetition of 0.18. So 18181818. So the repetition should be the 18. And again, you may get to use a calculator. So if you are using a calculator, just plug it in. Here, let's look at it on a calculator. You would take and divide the 2 by the 11, and there it is, 0.1818181818. So that would give us 35.18. And then same with 7 divided by 8, 0.875. But you just have to divide. Alright. Now the reverse, let's convert fractions into decimals. And then we've kind of done this before. These are very quick and easy. For every single 0 you get 1 decimal place. So you just have to mark it. And then now all you have to do is fill it in. What's the numerator? It's a 5, and that's all you have to place there. That's 0.5. So if you have 1 0, you get 1 decimal. You have 2 zeros, you get 2 decimal places. They should always match. 1 2, 1 2. So that one and that one for that one and that one. But it should always say 3, not 30. That would be 30 on the numerator. So if you had 30 over 100, that would be 0.30. Okay, so let's look at it again. This is 3 decimals, so you get, sorry, this is 3 zeros, so you get 3 decimal places. This is 2 zeros, you get 2 decimal places. And that's it, nice and quick. Alright, so the reason we have these 3 down here is this is just a little bit of a trick. If a decimal ends, does not repeat, it ends, that means the denominator has to have only 2's and 5's as factors. That's it. So the only numbers you can have in the denominator, prime numbers that you can have in the denominator, are 2's and 5's. Those are the only factors that you can have for a denominator. So if you look at 10, 10 is only 2 and 5. That means this is an ending decimal. And you can just write it like that as an ending decimal. If you have a 5, that means you're going to be able to write this as an ending decimal. So what you can do is just think, okay, what number can I use to make this into a tenth, a hundredth, a thousandth, a 10,000th, or so on? Well, if you have a 5, you just need another 2. And we use our rule for equivalent fractions. Remember I told you when we did equivalent fractions in that one video that they are very useful. And they really are. So this is 6 over 10, which means we have 7.6. That's it. An 8 is made up of 3 2's. So if you give it 3 5's, which is 125, 5 times 5 times 5, you will get the answer. 7 times 125 is 875. over 1, 2, 3, which would give us 0.875. Now you may be thinking, well, that wasn't quick. It's quicker than doing mentally 7 divided by 8. You could do 7 times 125 fairly quick. It's 7, and then you have $1.25. So that's $7, and then 7 quarters is $1.75, so it's $8.75. And then how did I do this so quick? Well, we have an 8. That's 3 2s. You have 125. We needed 3 more 5s, which gives us 3 zeros. 4 2s, 4 5s, that's going to give you 4 zeros. 5 2s and 5 5s, 5 zeros. It's nice and clean, because 1 2 and 1 5 is 1 0. 2 2s and 2 5s is 2 zeros. And so on. But you need to just pick a method that works best for you. Practice it a lot, and then the mental stuff is kind of nice. It will help you out because you don't always have a calculator.